Dr. Michelle Cretella is Executive Director of the American College of Pediatricians and joins us now to discuss James's story. Dr. Cretella, first, your observations about James and his wanting to be Luna with his mother and James with his dad. Is this gender dysphoria, and can a 6-year-old struggle with this?
A 6-year-old child can certainly have gender dysphoria, but James's case does not really fit that definition. A young child who has gender dysphoria persistently and consistently will insist they are not their biological sex. But in this case, James is quite happy being a boy with his father and seems to behave and act like a girl with his mother. So there's some red flags there.
How does this differ from children this age simply being curious about gender?
There's some overlap, but generally a child with true gender dysphoria is so upset, so emotionally upset by their biological sex that they will reach the point where they insist it's not who they are. So whereas a child who's just experimenting, they may try out different sex stereotyped playing or cross-dressing, things like this, but it's not a persistent or consistent habit.
What do you think would be the best thing for James in this situation?
The ideal approach here should be with a therapist who will objectively look at James and the very difficult situation they're in. This is a divorce situation. And basically assess what's different about when James is with mom and with James is with dad. There are cases, now I don't know these parents personally, but there is definitely the case in which some mothers in particular can experience gender mourning. Moms who so desperately wanted a girl but never gave birth to a daughter can enter a deep depression, and that depression is only lifted when one of their sons acts in an effeminate way or allows the mom to dress them as a girl. So there are cases like this in the literature. So basically a therapist who is objective, does not have a stake in the case, needs to look at other extenuating circumstances, environmental factors.
What are your thoughts on allowing children to choose their gender?
It's outrageous. Look, our sex is determined at conception by our genetics, by our DNA. When children are born, we as physicians recognize the sex that they are by their physical bodies. And that's what children need to be taught. Some people, most of us, use sex and gender interchangeably. Unfortunately, we're now in a culture that is heavily dominated by transgender activists who are teaching children as young as preschool that sex and gender are two different things and that they can be at odds with one another. So as parents and honest physicians, we have to teach our kids the truth. People have a biological sex determined at conception, and that never changes. It's with you for your whole life.
Dr. Michelle Cretella with the American College of Pediatricians, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you for having me.